Hi, good afternoon. My name is Michael Ross, CEO and founder of Bidroom, also initiated by iMeet Hotel. I'm super proud to open this event, actually the event organized by iMeet Hotel and the World of Hospitality. The World of Hospitality is an event organized by students of the SHMS. They'll tell more about the event soon, and I'm more than happy to start actually to tell a bit more about us and also the cooperation which we have with the SHMS. I would like to talk about more as well about actually how tech can improve a customer relationship. But before I tell more about this, first let's start with actually the cooperation which we have with SHMS. It started already a few years ago. What does actually cooperation means? We're sharing knowledge. You can see in this event, we just support actually the students by organizing the event, but also organizing lectures and internship opportunities. I just mentioned the event we're organizing today is co-organized together. And also, of course, all the students and also the previous students of SHMS can get a free Bidroom membership worth €49. What is nice, if I look back, I visited this amazing university, the amazing school, actually 2017, when I actually gave a workshop. My colleague Martin also gave a presentation there. It was amazing to see the interaction with the students, their knowledge, they're willing to learn something about actually entrepreneurship as well. You saw that most of the students actually, they had a passion for hospitality, but also the interest in starting their own business. But actually before, and we're going to talk more about the event as well, I would like to talk a bit more about us, who is actually Bidroom. I think the cooperation started because we were different. We have an image of being good guys in the industry. And actually, I think that was one of the reasons actually we started this partnership a few years ago. Bidroom is a booking platform which actually first built for ourselves. We built a booking platform actually to give a fair deal for users, members, but also bring fairness back to the hospitality. We see more and more that other companies would like to use our technology to involve it more. That's why this presentation is more about technology, but also how can the technology be adopted in other businesses and the similarities in other industries. As I mentioned before, we don't charge high commission to hoteliers. We're facilitating direct reservations and also just want to make the tech better. And I think it's really important, and that's why this presentation is about technology. I think our heart is our technology. And because of our technology, we are where we are now. And you can see, if you look at other booking platforms, I spoke to many 1.5 weeks ago in Florida on the Volkswagen conference. Even the big ones even don't have a well-structured, modern technology as we do. If we see what we have reached so far, pretty impressive. We have 60,000 properties. There may be 4 or 5 other companies in the whole world who reach more than direct contracts with more than 60,000 properties. Our property is actually based all over the world, focus a lot on premium, and actually we have specific rates. We're only focusing on closed user groups. You see that the discounts they're giving for our members are actually amazing. They're giving between 10 and 15% discount, but also we're giving upgrades. And it's really important when you're talking about value. And our focus is really to make sure that our members actually get a great value, but also members of partners which we have, which could be airlines, which could be fintech companies. And it's pretty important if you're just traveling, for example, with your family and you're arriving 11 o'clock in the morning, it will be amazing if you have an early check-in. If your flight is pretty early laid back, if you can check out later. If you go with your partner and you get a voucher of a restaurant, amazing, because it's your first savings which you have. And we also cope with a lot of partners. First of all with you, of course, but also other partners we have to actually deliver more services to hotels, but also to our members. A lot of things change actually. I had a presentation this morning. I was moderating a session for Usakrota, one of the larger conferences also in travel. And actually one of the attendees said, we see a huge shift actually in subscriptions. And of course, for me, this is something which I know for a few years. I think all of you, I think the students as well, just count how many subscriptions do you have. Probably have a Netflix subscription, maybe a Spotify one, etc. So subscriptions for the few years now, they become more and more popular, and travel is still new. But you see other companies moving to the same space. You saw a bit more than a year ago, one of the largest companies in travel, TripAdvisor, copied actually our business model, which actually is a good sign that actually they believe in a model like we do. Mentioned before a few companies, Netflix, Spotify, Bidroom. For us, it was really important to make sure that we have the content available. Because imagine you want to have a booking platform and you're missing the hotels. Nobody ever sign up. Even worse, or if they're signing up, they even leave even quicker. And it's the same if you have Netflix, you're expecting constantly new series. You're expecting a lot of content. The same with Spotify. If Adele was launching a new album a week ago, you're expecting that it will be available on Spotify. If it's not there, you will unsubscribe and go somewhere else. So it's really important you have created content and good content. And that's why we said, okay, as Bidroom, and it was a challenge, to be really honest. So let's really focus and make sure that we have our own supplier, our own hotels. You see what is actually different in the membership economy. You're moving actually from ownership to access. I remember, I don't know if ever of you, of the students ever bought a CD. Well, the older people or the lecturers or other attendees, for sure they did. So you went to the shop, you paid actually maybe 10 euro, and in return actually had a CD. You're owning of the CD. Now you get access to millions of songs. This 10 euro I paid once, now you're paying it every month. So every month you have recurring payments, subscriptions. So once it was a transaction, you gave the 10 euro and now you're building a relationship. And I think building a relationship in travel is really important, because if you're looking at relationships in travel, all of you know about loyalty programs of hotels or airlines. If you see the industry of subscriptions, a lot of things change here actually. You see that subscriptions, around 20% of the adults, a few years ago, they had around 5 subscriptions. Now it's more than double. If you see people taking subscriptions for cars, they're taking it now for travel, they're taking it for different services. It's more common. You see Uber launch a subscription model, and more are coming. So subscription is actually a reason for companies as well to make sure that they have recurring income, also make your business more sustainable. The other hand, you have a different kind of relationship with your guest. You really understand the behavior of the traveler. We can see what is the behavior, what is he searching, when is he searching, and actually start knowing who is he. And actually you can recommend in places which makes much more sense for him as well. Super important if you're building a subscription program or loyalty program. I think it's in any business, I think it's super important that you have no friction. And again, friction is so important in any business. So for sure it's key actually in a membership program or loyalty program, but also it's key in actually every business, right? If you're working a few years, you're working in a hotel, there's a few things that actually make it easier for your guests to enter the building. Make it easier for them, for example, to access the Wi-Fi. Make sure you make everything in the whole pros and experience, make it as frictionless as possible. Then we're also focusing on what we do. If you're signing up for a platform like we do, and make sure that the experience is great. If you're in a hotel, wants to join our platform, make sure that the onboarding is super and easy as possible. And the same with partners. Partners are really important. We're focusing, that's why I'm actually presenting today, because for me, partners are crucial in the growth of the company. We're partnering also with large companies, actually helping us to grow our user base. So actually they have an audience and say, okay, why not deliver actually your service, your membership to our user base? It's helping us actually delivering a great user product and then delivering a service and helping you actually to grow your users. And again, loyalty I think is crucial. I think loyalty is important if you're studying, if you're working for a hotel, if you're signing up for any loyalty program or being a customer of your local bakery. It doesn't matter, loyalty is so important, and make sure that we really want to create loyal members who are coming back. And the first thing they think about when they want to book a new stay, they're thinking about Bidroom, and that's really important. And we have to create ambassadors actually for our brand as well. And I hope after this event, you all become an ambassador as well. It was challenging when you're starting now, and I look back at the years when we're starting, just more than 5.5, 6 years ago. We try to get big hotels on board and say, who are you? You're just a small booking platform, but actually being visible, don't give up mentality, and actually just be a first mover in the travel subscriptions. We had something unique, and therefore we have large hotels like IHG, Wyndham, and many more on board. And they're giving us better deals than anybody else. They're giving us a better deal, a better rate than Booking or Expedia. Even though they provide them those platforms provide them much more bookings, they believe in our model. And that's actually great to see as well. Again, you see many brands in here, so also focusing more on the upscale properties. But again, it's amazing to see that those companies, those brands actually believe in our model and want to join actually this revolution. But digital, we really have to develop as well a product for hotels. And what you're building, if you're building a marketplace like we do, you have to make sure that on two sides, actually you helping, right? So of course you can focus only on the travelers, but if you forget the hoteliers, don't do that. It's pretty bad. But we say, okay, we really have to focus on two sides of the marketplace, make sure that actually things we do totally make sense. So build our own infrastructure. We don't use an infrastructure somebody else. And it was tough. If you see, we have daily more than 30 people working just on an infrastructure, which is actually connecting the hotel, their PMS or channel manager actually with our platform, which isn't easy. We could take it much easier. We could use supply hotel contracts of other bed banks, but it doesn't make us unique. So we invest a lot in there, but also the way I just mentioned, the zero friction. Make sure if the hotel's onboarding that it is super easy. So the whole onboarding, what we actually build for hotels to manage their content, rate plans and everything must be as smooth and easy as possible. So we invest there a lot as well. And now you can see that actually when I'm talking to companies, I just mentioned when I'm talking to like large companies in travel, it's like, wow, you build this platform by yourself. And actually we did. And it's pretty, I'm proud to share this information because it is really, really tough to make it. And it took us years. And it's amazing to see that the large companies actually impressed and surprised that we actually were able to do that. I mentioned before, we said, okay, we want our own direct supply. We have to make sure that the whole onboarding is as smooth as possible. That's why we can facilitate the availability, inventory, and the booking API. I don't want to make it too technical as well for you. I just want to give more an overview, but also we build our infrastructure, which is able to talk to everybody, which means to OTAs, to wholesalers, to direct booking platforms, PMS. So make it really scalable. And that's really important. Okay, if we're building an infrastructure, make sure it's as scalable as possible so we connect with everybody. And it's also scalable for the future. I want to share as well the extranet. I think I mentioned before a few times, zero friction. We said, okay, we investing in a user experience for hotels. If you see the onboarding, if you're looking at a platform as Booking, Expedia, if you're just using the two big ones, their onboarding is horrible. Our guy actually helped us really in building this platform from product department. Is actually, okay, I worked for several years of Booking. One struggle is the onboarding. It takes hotels up to more than an hour to actually to be onboarded. Okay, we have to make the most smooth, best looking, but also best easy to use interface where they can manage their inventory, supply, content, everything out there in perks. And as a result, as soon as we launched this, we saw a huge increase actually of hotels signing up, but also the perks they give to our members. I'm a big fan of Formula One. Christian as well, who co-organized this event, is also a huge F1 fan. Together a few months ago, we went to an event, and it's amazing to see actually what is actually happening around an event like this. Of course, you see the coming weekend, it's a crucial game again, it's a crucial race. In a few weeks, they're deciding who's the world champion. But to become world champion, you need a lot of luck, you need a lot of factors, but also you have a big influence on what is there. And often I compare this actually with our platform. Why? Because if you're looking at a car, it takes years to develop the great car. The same with our platform, with our website. It took us years and keep improving, keep improving. If you look at the infrastructure, if you look at a car, the engine is crucial. You see if the engine is better than other ones, of course you have a head start. This is already, if you have make sure your platform is great and also your engine is great, you have a huge benefit. All the decisions, if you look, you see, for example, a driver like Max Verstappen or Lewis Hamilton. They're amazing drivers. I don't want to compare myself with them, but at the end, I have to drive the car, I have to be in the front of the company. But all the decisions that you made has to be data-driven. And that's why how the people as well, they have a huge team around them. Talk about more in a second. The friction, just call about downforce. The friction has to be kept to the minimum with everything you do. And also you see those teams, they're huge engineering teams. I see the same. We have a majority of our team are engineers, constantly working on improving. And then you have a strategy. You have to be more smart than the competition. You see the same in a race. They just go to pit stop quicker than other ones. They just make a different move to see, can we just make a different move to actually win the race at the end? And of course, you see that the competition is always improving. So you have to do the same as well. The most important is the team. Because you see, if you see in a team of the Mercedes F1 team, they're working more than 1,400 people. You see one driver constantly on the TV, but you don't see there are 1,400 people constantly working, improving, actually on the car, on the data, on the strategy. Super important. And of course, last as well, it's really important to sponsors, partners, investors. If you see a car, it's full with stickers, sponsors, everything out there, because without sponsors, we will not exist. We have the same with our shareholders. Of course, we need them. We're growing every year. Do we make profits? No, we don't do. Do we grow? Yes, we do. With the support of our sponsors. It's the same like in a Formula One team. You need sponsors as well to actually keep improving the product. And if you see as a race, you see some pictures of me. Sometimes you're lucky, sometimes you're not. You see a question in the bottom of the presentation. It doesn't have to be your fault, but it can happen. But make sure you directly react on it and actually find a solution. And it's the same in a race. You see, of course, you have working on your strategy, but it's a constant project. You have to cooperate constantly with your team. And that's the same if you're studying, if you're just working in a hotel or in any business, you just have to cooperate. And of course, you get your leader. Leader is important because at the end, if he makes a mistake, if I make wrong mistakes, if I make mistakes, try to see it as a learning, but also just learn from constantly and be creative. You see, you're not able to win the race in the current way. We saw the same. We were focusing too much maybe on directly on user acquisition. We see, okay, so if we're going to be more creative, working more with partners who has an audience, actually, we can win this race. And in the end, you can just practice. You can just practice and you can make some mistakes. Then you have to, of course, qualify. It's super important as well that you can just improve yourself, make sure you're ready to win a race, and then you eventually want to win the race. And of course, the ultimate goal as well, what we have, is just become world champion. More than happy to answer some of your questions, and I hope it was interesting for you to share a bit about technology, but also the comparison with Formula One. Thank you.
Good afternoon and thank you very much, Mr. Ross. I'm your host, Fazi Yamazana from Zimbabwe, alongside my colleague.
Hello everyone, I'm Emma Bilstein from Sweden.
We're third year students taking up hospitality and events management pathway. And before we begin, we have a few questions for you, Mr. Ross. The first question is, what are you most proud of regarding Bidroom?
Team. It's not even I have to think about it long. I think team, it makes me most proud. We see what we have developed. What is for me the most important is the culture, but we have to get it with the team because you can't do it by yourself. And I need people to tell me what I should do, and I should not tell people what they should do. So I think by far it's team which makes me most proud. So I hope they're watching this one as well, so they will be happy with this answer, but it's an honest answer.
Okay.
And what was the path you took to get where you are today?
Don't give up. And I think I just did the example, for example, from Milan. Sometimes you're not lucky. And of course, we had faced in the last 6 years what wasn't easy, right? We're just a travel company. And actually, in the last 1.5 years, nobody travels. So you have to make decisions. And actually, of course, we're still hiring and don't firing, which is positive in this impact. But you just also see you just have to be that case, don't give up mentality. That's super important because, of course, in the beginning, I just shared the example of hotel chains. They didn't want to join in the beginning. But if you give up, I was not built like this. We started a company with 3 co-founders. I'm the only one left because I said, okay, I don't want to give up. I want to make this work. And actually, if you see where we are now, what we have developed, that makes me proud. So I think don't give up is really important.
And the final question for you, sir, is what has been the biggest challenge for you that you've had to overcome?
Of course, there are many challenges. First of all, people are not allowed to say the word problem in in Bidroom because I always see everything as a challenge. I think it's important. And there are multiple things, right? You just have to compete against 2 large companies. If you're looking at Booking Expedia, they're massive. They're valued at 80 or 50 billion dollar. We were a small startup, and then you just have to convince hotels on board. And I think that wasn't easy to just don't give up and still keep pushing. And then you just see, okay, you have to build an infrastructure, which is tough. I just didn't even know how to start, right? So this building a team together, which is going to overcome those challenges, was really important. So there were multiple. I can make a whole list of challenges, but most important, you believe that you can solve this challenge and find a solution for it.
Thank you very much, sir.